All right, guys, let's go over our Concept 2 rower, a very utilized and popular cardio machine at the gym. Let's start with our flywheel. That's the first thing that you're going to want to take a look at. There's numbers 10 to 1. 10 being the most amount of air that is able to go inside the flywheel, giving you a lot of resistance. And then you can head down to 5 or 6, it gives you moderate. And then 1, that's going to give you the lightest amount of pull. So you'll be able to pull the handle faster and be able to sprint on this. Setting number 2 you want to make sure you have down is going to be our foot straps. So our foot straps right here, as you can see, I already have it where I would suggest, which would be at the very beginning of the first lace. You're going to strap yourself in there, and that's going to allow the foot to flex. That way you're able to come in and out safely and securely. If you look at this one, I have it too high and I won't be able to bend my ankle too much. And you want to have some flexibility right here on your foot. So always make sure that you put your straps and your base in a position where you're able to strap around the first lace securely in a way where you're able to pick the heel off and on the platform. The next thing we want to make sure we have down is how to use our computer. Set it to the basic standard view. The top column is going to be our time elapsed. That's how long you've been on the machine. The next one is going to be the pace we finish 500 meters in. So whatever intensity you're pulling, that's how fast you're going to finish that in. Next we have our meters traveled. And then the bottom left is our strokes per minute. So for longer duration workouts, you might want to keep that number under 25. So that means I'm pulling the handle 25 times per minute because it's a longer duration workout like a marathon. And then for shorter duration workouts like sprints, you might want to keep that number above 35. So that way the intensity stays nice and high. All right, let's go ahead and begin our rowing. So you're going to grab the handle and it's going to be more on the passive side. I don't want you to flex your upper body on it. Just barely grab onto the handle and let's try to keep our wrist straight. Next thing you want to make sure you have down is going to be our damper setting. So make sure that you put it at the setting that you want. And then lastly, our straps, our foot straps. Make sure you're nice and secure. And then let's go ahead and start rowing. So you want to keep a fairly soft upper body as this is only about 10% upper body and primarily legs. I'm going to let my arms go straight in, allowing my heels to lift off the ground. And then I'm going to push with my legs until I get around here where I'm going to finish with my upper body. I'm going to try to lock my knees and bring my torso back so I can involve a little bit of core. The minute I make contact with my sternum, I'm going to immediately lock my elbows out and then begin to bend my knees and restart the entire process again. Notice how my body, my torso is going to be around a 11 o'clock at the end, a 12 halfway, and then a 2 towards the end. So I'm aiming for a 2 o'clock torso angle into a 11 o'clock. Legs, arms. Legs, arms. Nice and slow on the way in and explosive on the way out. Just like if you were paddling a actual boat, you're only going to get some distance when you actually capture the water on the paddle and move forward. The part where you lift the paddle in the air, you're not going to be getting any speed or any power there. So focus on the actual pull of the stroke and then super slow, controlled, and explosive on the way in. Controlled, explosive. Focus on that part. Left is going to be our strokes per minute. That's how many times you're pulling the handles